Thanks for jumping on, ladies. I know this night's going to be like a long night between our team call and then Emily's team call. This is the first team call that Heather and I think this is the first one we've ever run together, actually.
I think so.
Yeah.
You are in for a treat. That's what this means.
Basically what that means. But we decided that I think the team calls with Emily are amazing and really powerful, but I think it's great to like have a smaller, those calls can be like 80 to 100 people. So we want to make sure, especially newer coaches, we want to make sure that you're getting like the attention and the training and resources that we got when we first started too. So this call is going to be jam-packed with a lot of stuff. So I think having it recorded is really great, but we're going to talk about a lot of things. Like I imagine this call being something that we either run, quarterly, or it's something that like you can also share with your new coaches. Like when you have someone join, you can be like, here's a lot of what you need to know about getting started. So
I also want to add to that really quick before sharing this is we want this to be beneficial for you, right? So like we have an idea in our head of what we think would be good to share with you all, but we don't know what we don't know. So we are here for any and all feedback. If there's something specific that you want training on or you don't understand, come to either of us and we're happy to give that information. I think we are 3+ years in, each of us, and still learning as well. So don't feel like anything is, stupid or a dumb question to ask, because I ask Heather questions on a daily basis. She asks me things. So we want this to be beneficial to you all as well. So with that being said, let me attempt to share this screen. Can you see that?
Beautiful. Great. All right. So this is shouting out all of the girls from last month. So we have Nikki coming in hot at SE10, crushing it, girlfriend. And then my girl Lindsay, I think she was driving her dad to the airport tonight. So, but shout out to Lindsay for hitting SE6. And then my girl Jamie at SE6. And that's your first month towards Success Starter too. So you just need 2 more months. That's awesome. And then we have Jamie, Nikki, Madison, and Caitlin all rank advanced to Emerald last month, which is incredible, huge. And then I wanted to welcome new coaches. Nikki, girlfriend started last month and already SC10. Hello, what's up? Nikki, Kayla, Sarah's on the call. Yeah, Sarah Black's on the call. Lacey, I think Lacey's here too. Rebecca, Jillian, and Val. Really excited for you ladies. But yeah, wanted to just kind of shout you out for last month. It's a big deal. I think it can seem like, oh, it's no big thing to like hit Success Club. Okay, whatever. If I hit it, don't hit it. But what we say is making that non-negotiable for your business will change your business. Like, I'm not just trying to blow smoke. You making that non-negotiable every single month will help you level up and change your business. So it's really great that you guys made that a priority last month.
Yeah, I think that's so exciting to see so many on here already too that are new coaches and already killing it. Just so exciting. It's going to be such a good year.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to go over some quick housekeeping things before we really dive into today's training, just because it's been a while since really, like Heather said, we all haven't really been on a call together. So we just kind of wanted to go through some things. So make sure you are registered for Summit. I know it can be scary. Heather has been to Summit once before. This will be my 3rd year and my first final Summit because of COVID and all the things. So I can't wait for it. It is in St. Louis. If you are not familiar with it, it is our big conference of the year. There is a lot of training. It just takes over the city. I creepily watched my coach and watched Emily go the last time, watched Heather and all of them. So I cannot wait to finally go this year. But It should also be a non-negotiable. I know, like I said, it can be scary. We all have our own obligations, but if you are serious about this business, you will be at Summit. That's basically how Emily said it to me. And I said, okay. And now finally they're having it again and I can go. So make sure you register. I will go over some of the details of that in just a minute here about the pricing and the deadline for that. Make sure you are signed up and opted in for the Success Club trip for 2023. If you do not know what that means, reach out to Heather or me. We can send you the opt-in link. I should have had it prepared to drop in the chat, but make sure you are opted in. Do not count yourself out by any means. I don't remember, sorry, who you said, Heather. Was it Hannah?
Yeah.
And I think she's on this call. I think I
Yeah.
admitted her, but girlfriend is a newer coach and got her freaking invitation today for Mexico next year. And I am so excited for her. So make sure you are not able to get an invitation if you are not opted in. It doesn't lock you into anything. You don't pay anything when you opt in, but for hitting Success Club, you get an invitation. So that's literally doing your job and helping 3 people a month, which we said this should be a non-negotiable. You get a chance to earn an expense paid trip from Beachbody as long as you are helping. Usually SC10 covers the whole trip, I think it is, if you hit SC10 each month. But either way, it's, again, this is going to be my first time. I'm about to go in a few weeks and you will see all of our pictures flooded and it's just going to be such a good time. So live events and trips in general, if you're a new coach, are everything in this business. And I'm just so excited we're getting back to them. We're going to go over, Heather and I have really spent some time mapping out March. There's a lot going on this month and we want to make sure to not overwhelm you with all of that information. You don't have to create your own fit clubs. You don't have to come up with all of this stuff. Heather and I are here to help guide you with that. And so we have done that for ourselves. And so we're going to share that information with you. And then the importance of staying active, which I'm pretty sure is this next. Oh, I went a little out of order, so I'll skip that quick. But staying active, you want to make sure that if you do not stay active, I'm going to break it down real quick for you. If you do not stay active, you cannot earn an income in this business. So you want to make sure that you're at least staying active. And that means 50 PV. If you want to earn Success Club, you need 90 PV. So your spouse account is always that one that gets a little confusing. And I didn't see the benefit of it in the beginning. Honestly, I was like, why am I going to keep this active? He's not growing. It's all about your volume. And that's a whole other conversation we can have for another day, but you want to make sure that you are keeping them active as well, because it's going to help you in the long run. So if you are not active, you also cannot rank advance. So say you are currently at Emerald and you're getting that team cycle bonus. If you are not active, you don't get that team cycle bonus. You don't get your paycheck. You don't get any of that. So you want to make sure that you're staying active. And these are a few things that to help you. Anything on the Team Beachbody website will show you, if you're signed in as a coach, as yourself, what the PV is. So these are some quick examples. Shakeology is 90 PV, Recover Energize equals 90 PV. You can do Energize and Hydrate on a spouse, that's 64. Beach Bars and Collagen can get you to 56. But you want to make sure that you are active every Wednesday by midnight Eastern, because that's when it all goes into effect. So say you're running for Diamond, if you miss your PV, you won't wake up Thursday as a Diamond, for example. So that's where it all comes into play, and you just want to make sure you're staying on top of it. I'm going to go back, Heather, if you want to do the calendar quick.
Perfect. Okay, so like Heather said, we have a lot going on this month. I think like beginning of the year and end of the year are like the two really big pushes. And so I would expect you to like kind of feel like you're running like crazy at the beginning of the year, and then not so much like during like midsummer months into fall. And then at the end of the year is like another really big push. So for this month, we have our team call tonight. And then we have our coach info session on Wednesday, the 9th. And we were kind of playing with, like Heather said, we've been doing this the last 3 years. We've been all over the place with like when to run a coach info session, how many, how often. And we found that at least doing 2 a month has been really beneficial. Last month I ran 4, and that was like really the most that I've ever run, and had like the most success with how many new coaches joined my team. So I think there definitely is a correlation between like how many you're running, how often you're talking about coaching. And I think something that I wish I started sooner was talking about coaching sooner. I think sometimes we feel like we should just talk about the health and fitness side of things because that's what we're comfortable talking about. And we feel like we don't have a whole lot to share. Or like, I know for me, I was like, what am I supposed to talk about income wise? Like I'm making $14 paychecks as a brand new coach. I don't have anything to share. And like, I just put those limiting beliefs on myself. And I wish I would have just started talking about the business sooner, because why would I not? Like I do have things to share, and other people are going to start the same way that I started. Like they're going to start from ground zero. So building together is really important too. So, okay, coach info session. You're always more than welcome to invite to ours, but I would encourage you to start running your own. Like if you have a Success Club partner, ask her, hey, do you want to run a coach info session together? I'm going to tell you right now, probably nobody's going to show up. That may be beneficial for you because you get to just practice on your own and like walk through it. I can't tell you how many coach info sessions I've run where it's just me and the screen and I just run through my script and I talk. And now I could do it like without even looking at notes. Before I literally had on the screen written like word by word what I was going to say because I was so nervous. So you have to get comfortable doing them. So I would encourage you, sure, invite to ours, but also look to start running your own and talking about it. So we have that on the 9th. We are going to do a free week, and we don't do them that often because we don't want people thinking we're always doing stuff for free, but I think it is really beneficial, especially before a big launch, to run a group to get people like, hey, this is how it is run. There's no obligation. You can just come in for free. I'll give you all the resources. And I would approach it. I know it's kind of difficult sometimes, but I would approach it with the mindset of like, you're not trying to get anything from them. Like, don't run a free group just to get people to sign up. Run it because you want to share this, right? You want to share health and fitness. You want to share this community. And so don't run it in the expectation of like, I want everybody to just sign up. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. No, do it because you're trying to serve your community, right? So we're going to start that on the 14th. Share about that. Like you can invite to that. So get on your stories tonight and be like, hey, I'm running, and you can say that I'm running a free group. This is what it's going to be about. And we can like give you the resources for it too. Like we're still working on the graphics and the actual group, but once it's all finalized, we'll post it in our team pages and you'll have everything to invite to. But that'll be the 14th. And then the 15th is the launch of the program. So people can officially sign up on the 15th, but we are not starting our 4 weeks for everybody group until the 28th. So we have the free week on the 14th. So you have that whole week to do the free week. And then you have a whole nother week to really still talk about the launch on the 28th. We are going to do a prep week. So essentially it would be people in the free group, they'll do the prep week and they'll get signed up and do the 4 weeks for everybody starting on the 28th, right? And then we have another coach info session on the 16th, and then another coach info session on the 21st. That one we're actually running on Facebook, so it's not live. We'll just be adding people into the Facebook group. Most of you guys should be in that group too, but we can add you if you're not. Just to kind of mix it up, give people different, like sometimes people receive information differently. So we try to do it live over on Facebook with video. And then we're doing we are having 4 this month. That's great. One final coach info session on the 28th. And that's also when all of the coaches get back from Punta Cana. So even if you're not, like, I'm not going, sad. But even if you're not going to Punta Cana, people that are people follow other coaches, right? Like people that follow me pretty much follow Emily, pretty much follow Heather Blair. So they see that and they're a part of that. And so us all collectively running a coach info session when everybody gets back from all that FOMO from the trip, it's a good idea to like run an info session right after a trip like that. So we're going to do that on the 28th. And then last day to purchase your discounted ticket for Summit is the end of this month. I feel like everybody on this call is already got their ticket. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, no, the only thing I was gonna add to that is even if you're not going to Punta Cana, which I still have 2 weeks to convince HD to make it there with me, but if you are not going, share things that we're showing. You can take a screenshot and share it. If you can't share their story to your stories, create that FOMO and be like, I will be here next year, right? There is nothing more powerful than watching somebody else put a goal out there, as scary as it can be. And then once you get your invite, you can then post it and be like, it's official. I've locked it in. I will be there with them next year type of a thing, right? So take screenshots. I won't be offended if you share any of my stuff. I am hoping to create all the FOMO from it, and you should be doing it too through everybody who's going. Use it to your advantage.
I totally did that when everybody went to Arizona for the elite trip.
Yeah.
I like shared and I got on my stories and I was like, I will never miss this trip and I will be on this trip next year.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
It's powerful. Okay. Now we went through those and now we are getting on to our actual training. And this is honestly one of my favorite topics to talk on is social media. It just gets me so excited because it is constantly changing. But before we dive into that part of it, we're going to talk a little bit about the vitals because I know there's a lot of new faces on here and we really want to drive those home. So we all know what they are, right? Be a product of the product, invite, personal development, and recognition. Number one job as a coach, right, is taking care of yourself. At the end of the day, if you aren't taking care of yourself, you're not doing your job. But we don't want you to get overwhelmed with what that actually means, because I feel like we hear these daily, what that actually is. But what does that mean when you break it down and look at a to-do list, right? Without getting overwhelmed with it, because the tasks are not hard, right? It's just getting up and knowing what to do and doing them consistently. So your daily non-negotiables should be, of course, your workout, your 15 minutes of personal development, sending invites, having those connections, checking in with your boot camp, and engaging on social media in some form. If that's all you're able to get in a day, that's a successful day, right? So I think that we get into our own heads and we're like, oh, I didn't get to do this. I didn't get to this. And I call that stuff all the fluff, right? So trainings, yeah, you could train all day long. But if you're not getting out there and doing the actions that it takes in this business, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So sometimes we overtrain and we focus too much on that. And I think it's important to stay up to date and things like that. But at the end of the day, you just need to be showing up for yourself and inviting others to do this with you. Creating graphics. I am somebody who I could create graphics all day long. It is my jam. It's not everybody's thing. Some people take hours to do it. For me, it is a very quick process, but that's not everyone, right? So if you haven't gotten to your daily non-negotiables, those graphics can wait. You don't need the prettiest thing. Even though I tell myself I need them, you don't need the prettiest things, right? You just have to get it out there for people to see, right? That's going to be more important than spending an hour on creating 1 or 2 graphics. You want to start this part, Heather?
Yeah. Okay. So vitals are your first priority, but how do you turn them into a business? Okay. I love that. Your feed is your storefront. I forgot that we used to say that all the time. Basically, your social media is your selling platform, right? Like if you aren't caring about showing up on your platform, then your store is not open. And so kind of think of it as like if you owned a coffee shop and it just was like you didn't have regular business hours, you just were like open sometimes. Like you sometimes posted on your social media. So I know for me, if I start following someone and they're kind of open sometimes, not like sometimes they have a story, sometimes they don't, and like they're just not consistent, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm not going to go to her page and continue trying to see her stuff because I'm like, she's just all over the place. Versus Emily, I will watch Emily's stories every single day because has her store open every single day and she's serving me, she's making me laugh, she's providing content for me every day. She's somebody that I can count on every day. And so that's who you want to be for your people. You want to be somebody that they can count on every day. And I would also say that some people are waiting for you to quit. They're watching you, maybe not like in a vicious way, but people are like, oh, here's this girl. She's starting a health and fitness journey again. Can't wait for her to quit. Or I bet she's going to quit, because sometimes it makes them feel better. Like, I hope she just kind of stopped showing up, or she's probably going to just stop showing up, so I'm not going to join her. You want to be that person that's just going to show up regardless. I was talking to Jamie earlier today, and she was like, being a coach has helped me so much because I have to show up because it's like I'm tying it to my income. And so that's what success is. So I need to be successful with my own journey to see success within my business. So it starts with you showing up every single day. So having a public profile, I think everybody on here, we've talked about that before, how important that is, but people can't find you if you don't have a public account. So make your account public. Showing up every day, being consistent, and letting them into your life, not in a way of sharing your dirty, dark secrets. I don't think you need to share. And when I first started, I really didn't share much. I shared a lot of Beachbody things and health and fitness things, and that was pretty much it. And so I grew with that and started to get more comfortable. But what I noticed is that I can create a relationship so much faster with somebody if I connect with them on something that we have a commonality with, right? So if I'm sharing something about my mascara, a girl may be like, oh, what's that mascara? And we can have a conversation, and then we've connected, right? Versus like me just showing up every day and showing my workouts, we're probably not going to connect, or it's going to take like months, right? Versus that, she may be like, what mascara is that? She buys the mascara. She trusts me now because I shared something that worked, that she likes. Then when I say, hey girl, I'm starting my new Fit Club on the 28th. Do you want? And she's like, oh yeah, sure. Because she feels that connection. She feels that friendship with me. And so what can you share and what content can you provide every day that's going to help you create those relationships, right? So Heather and I were talking about today, like not just being another Beachbody coach. I don't need another Beachbody coach on the internet. Like, I don't need to see it, right? I want to follow you for something else. So what are you going to show every single day that's something else that's going to make me, and make me want to recommend you, like recommend that coffee shop. Hey, that coffee shop's always open and they have really good coffee and dirty chai. You got to go. Like, you got to go follow Jamie because she's got a million kids and she's showing up for herself and she's really funny, and you got to go follow her, right? Like, what are you going to be? What is that thing that people are following you for? Don't overthink it, but be consistent with that and show up every day with that.
Honestly, you get one first impression, right? You can't, especially on the internet, people are ruthless on there, and you really have one shot to bring people in, to reel them in, right? And that's going to be starting at least on Instagram. We'll get a little bit into other platforms, but getting into Instagram, you need to make sure you have a clear, bright profile picture. It should be of your face, and it seems like you're real close sometimes on zooming into your face, but that thing is small, right? People want to know what you look like and who you are as soon as they come to your profile. I think I didn't include this on here, but I think your handle should be as close to your name as possible. I think that makes it a lot easier. People cannot search you if they can't figure out what your handle is, if any of that. It just makes it a lot easier to search. I am trying to get mine to just be my name. This girl has my handle, so I cannot get there, but have it as close to your name as possible. Makes it easier for others to find you, to remember it. Make sure you have something in your bio. And this, guys, nothing that you do today after this call is set in stone. You can never change the rest of your life, right? I change my bio pretty regularly because I'm always like, does this sound weird? What does this look like? How can I change it up? And you want to have a quick recap of who you are. What you do. So who are you helping specifically, right? Think about the people who you were before you signed up. Those are the people that you're trying to help. How people can contact you. You should have some sort of a link there, whether it is just a Jotform link, a Google Doc link. I know Heather and I both have beacons that have multiple links on there, but you should have some way for people to contact you. And you should have, she talked about stories already. Take them through your day. There should always be the little ring around your around your face, to know that you're open, that you're there. For me, a lot of my day-to-day is in my stories throughout the day, right? You should be posting daily reels. And I know this is scary for some who are newer coaches, but reels is honestly where it's at right now on Instagram. That's what's getting pushed out to everybody. That's where the growth is going to be. I have seen a huge growth just since this year, last year. I don't want you to get discouraged. If you are posting and you're not seeing traction, I had a year of that, guys. And I don't think that that's always shown. I think sometimes it's sugarcoated and it's like post a reel, you're going to get thousands of followers. And that's not how it always works. Heather had an amazing year last year with her growth and her reels, because her niche is so specific, right? You need to make sure you're figuring out what your niche is, and that's what you should be posting. And we'll get into a little bit more of how you figure that out. But if you aren't posting reels, you got to start. It's scary. I really resisted it for a while, but it is where my growth has been able to come now within just the past few months. You should be having some occasional posts. You don't want it to all just be reels, right? You got to switch it up. Your posts are not going to the same people that your reels are. So you want to make sure that you have the differentiating factors. So they're getting to different people, right? You can add some highlights to show people that you have value to provide. These don't have to be anything crazy. You can see a few of mine here. I add recipes to a highlight. I have my nails. I just get my regular manicure and I put it to a highlight because those are things that people come and ask me questions on. So if you have stuff, you can actually go to your archives and create a reel off of stuff that you've already posted. So you don't have to wait until you have 50 things to add it to a highlight. Start now. You have to start somewhere, right?
Is that when I plug? Can I plug TikTok?
You can.
Okay. And I know we don't want to overwhelm you, but at the same time, I don't want you guys to be like, us have the same call next year and be like, dang it, I should have posted on TikTok. Because that is how I'm feeling right now. After 2 years of not being on it and watching Emily grow like she did, watching everybody grow like they did. And I'm kicking myself for not just posting over there. And honestly, all it is, you guys, is just another form of Instagram. Like it really is just basically sharing your stories. I would say it's like sharing your stories, but on TikTok as videos instead of stories. And I was listening to something by Gary Vee the other day. He was like, how many TikToks a day are you posting? And this guy was like, none. And he was like, you're an idiot. You're trying to grow a business. You should be posting at least 4 TikToks a day. And when I hear that, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even come up with a reel a day sometimes. But I'm telling you, these TikToks are like your stories. And if you do 10 slides of stories, you could potentially do 10 TikToks, right? Like repurpose your content or record it twice. Like I've done that before too, but it really doesn't take a whole lot of time to just post over there. And the organic reach, that like it is a free app that's being pushed out to millions of people. Like it takes nothing for a video to go viral over there right now and just get millions of views. And I was telling Heather, like I saw this couple, they were celebrating hitting 100K. And I was like, wow, they hit 100K, wow. And then within like a week, they were at 1 million. I was like, how on earth? And I've watched her account on Instagram just like triple over the last month. And that's what's happening too, is that your growth on TikTok is, I mean, the apps are just helping each other, right? Like people are going to see you on TikTok. Oh, let me go find her on Instagram and follow her there too. So that's my plug for TikTok is,
I want to add to your plug.
Please go.
Because I have put off TikTok even longer than Heather did. And now I am kicking myself because I've got all of like, I think I got up to 75 followers, guys. I'm really getting there, but it overwhelmed me. I couldn't even figure out how to edit on there. The number of voice memos I sent to Heather asking her what the heck I'm doing and how to do things. But once you figure it out, it's really, I like it better than Instagram Reels, which is crazy to say, but don't get overwhelmed by thinking you have to post 4 a day. Like Heather said, use your content. So if you've got a story, save that story. You're already posting a reel, save that reel and post it. I do trim it so the Instagram logo isn't there, or if I save it from TikTok, you can, there's a little trick that you can start saving it, kind of swipe out of the app and go back in, and it removes the watermark. Because the apps don't love that when you do it sometimes. But use what you're already creating, like she said, because I know that I thought it so much. And I started by just sharing my workout videos. I will tell you, you can do that, but everybody on our team is doing that right now. So you want to stand out. What is going to make you different? And it's the ones that are talking about your stories. Like I literally recorded myself ordering Starbucks the other day. Like the weirdest things go viral over there. So don't overcomplicate it, because I did for so long. Okay, sorry,
Like
Heather.
Jamie, I watched your story today on, I was so intrigued with what you got at the Dollar Tree. I was like, what did she, and you were so happy about it. And I was like, so interested. And like, I'm just thinking right now, you literally could go and just save your stories and make that a video and make that a TikTok. Like that is what TikTok is. It is just a hot mess all over the place right now. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it. People go viral for no reason. And I just don't want us all kicking ourselves in a year being like, why didn't we just use this free networking platform to grow, right? And it's just open doors for people that you don't need, like not even Beachbody related. It's just opened a lot of doors for people. So
Yeah, Lexi McQuinn on our downline, she shared, I think, her Chick-fil-A salad, people.
yeah.
And it's got 500,000 views.
Yeah.
It could be more than that now, but it's just like, it's a Chick-fil-A salad, right? So don't overthink it, right? Like anything can take off. And she was even talking to me, she's like, I would never have expected this would be my like viral video. So just post them and you will be thanking us later on. It can be a slow start. Like I said, I have no followers really over there, but it will pay off in the long run.
Okay, so this color wheel, we used to have our teams fill out this wheel. And you could just, I mean, you could write this on a piece of paper. It basically is just coming up with like 10 to 15 things that make you you, to get you out of the mindset of thinking like, oh, I'm just a coach, I'm just sharing health and fitness things, nutrition, workouts. Like what other things can you share and provide? So like Heather filled hers out here, and like I look at all of these and I see all of this on her story, right? Like at one point or another, she's sharing this stuff. And that's important to realize too, is that we're talking mainly here, like what do you share and where? Talking mainly about stories when it comes to this. When it comes to your posts and your reels, not TikTok. TikTok is in another world. When it comes to your posts and your reels, you want to stick with your niche for until you have really grown a following. You want to stick with that specific niche when it comes to posts and reels. Even now, I really should not be posting anything other than MilSpouse things. I kind of dabble in some other things just to kind of test it out, and it never really goes well because I haven't grown. It's almost like you have to earn the right with Instagram and your followers to share whatever you want. I haven't really earned that right yet. Someone like Emily has earned that right? Like she has built her following to the point where girlfriend could share anything and it would pop off because of the community that she's created, right? But you have to start with your niche. And so even if you have a funny idea for a reel that you think would be cute, if it has nothing to do with your niche, don't post it. Make it a story. It could be great engagement for a story. Don't make it a post or a reel, right? So everything post and reel related should be niche. And your niche is just, who's the woman you're trying to help? Who is she? Right? It took me so long to figure that out. And I'm like, who's the person I want to help? It's me. It's the me before I found Beachbody, the struggling MilSpouse who couldn't like a job, find a job that she could keep, hated her body. That's who I'm trying to help. Right? And so all my content is directed towards that. Right? So what do you share, or yeah, what do you share and where? this is mostly stories, who you are, what your interests are. You're trying to create that relationship with people. Like stories, you're talking to them through that phone, right? So you're trying to share as much as you can about yourself. Again, not sharing your dirty, dark secrets. You don't have to sell your soul to create relationships. But you have to let people in a little bit. You got to get a little vulnerable and open up a little bit. And I would say the most growth that I had was last year. And that was the most that I just like didn't care anymore and was like, I'm just going to share myself and be myself and stop trying to be, I was trying to be Emily. I was trying to be all these top coaches. But once I really was just myself authentically, that is where I saw the most growth. Are you having fun with it? It's a fun platform. It's supposed to be like a fun relationship building platform. And if you take it too seriously, I think you get burned out, and people can tell that you're stressed when you're trying to put out content, right? So are you having fun with it? And are you serving and giving value? So every day I try to think like, how can I serve somebody today? Can I make her laugh? Does she need something inspiring? And anytime I have, and this is with like any like serious thing or thing that I like hesitate sharing, anytime I'm like, am I really going to share this? That's the thing that does the most, like that has the most engagement, that reaches the most people, is when I have that like YOLO moment, post it, share it, because there's enough like fake people on the internet that people don't care to see that. They want to see, yeah. And they're like, the more you share that, the more you're going to attract people like you too. And that's so cool. Like, it's so cool that that actually happens, because I talk with women and I'm like, wow, you get me. Like, you get my weird humor and you're weird just like me. And yeah, that's really cool too. And then what you shouldn't share, I love that you put this on there. So we never want to see Beachbody ads. I don't want to see ads. Okay. I don't want to see any of that on like posts. Like, I should only see you on your reels and your posts, never an ad. If you follow Heather and I, we rarely say Beachbody. Like, it is, I probably say Beachbody like once a quarter. And it's like, usually if I'm talking about a trip or sharing about a gift that they sent, I'll drop their name. But outside of that, I'm not selling Beachbody, so I'm not talking about Beachbody. I'm selling myself and my journey and this life change. Yeah, I use Beachbody as a platform, but I'm not trying to sell that. So I don't want to hear anything about that. And then, yeah, things that feel forced rather than authentic, like make it true to you. Don't do it because you saw somebody else do it. Oh, this worked for her. Like, if you do try to, like, obviously there's trends and things like that, but make it unique to yourself and make it so that it feels good for you. And then what you need to stop thinking that you're not interesting or that you have nothing to share. Heather just told you that somebody shared a picture of her Chick-fil-A salad and it went viral. Like, you guys, if you've ever scrolled on any platform for 10 minutes, are you like brain dead a little bit? Because you're like, oh my God, why is this interesting? Because we're all interested in each other. Like, I could share a picture of me feeding my dogs in the morning and the most engagement. Everybody's, what dog food? How do you feed that? What are those bowls? Like, we're just curious humans about one another. And so you just sharing your life is very interesting to a lot of people. You just got to get comfortable sharing those parts of your life. Telling yourself that you're not inspiring and watching and comparing yourself to other coaches. If you need to unfollow every single coach that you follow right now, do it. If you need to block them, if you need to do whatever you got to do, like, I've done it. I have gotten into that comparison game where I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm working harder than her. I feel like I'm posting more than her, and I'm seeing her just kill it, have all this success. I feel like I'm becoming her because I'm just watching her and obsessed with it. Like, that's not what we want, right? So if you find yourself doing that with people, block them or unfollow them. It's not, people aren't going to take it personally. We get it, because we've all done it in this community, because we're all so close. We're all watching each other. We're on these calls together. So it's hard. That's hard. That's a hard thing. And even 3 years in, I know Heather and I still do it, and we got to call ourselves on it, because yeah, people need you. This guy on TikTok today was like talking about on TikTok, like posting, and someone was like, if you ever think that you don't have something to offer or share, walk down the water aisle at the grocery store. And then he like cut into the video and he was like, have you ever noticed that there's like a million different brands of water? He's like, it's water. And yet these companies keep coming out. I'm a new brand of water. And he's like, because they approach it differently, how they brand it is differently. And I was like, that was an interesting thing. So yeah, there's a million of us on these apps trying to like make a business and all of that. But how you do it is so unique, and that's how you're going to be successful. You're going to win out because of how you share your perspective.
I think the only thing I want to add to that is if you're not yourself, like we spend a lot of time with one another, right? You want to find those people you want to hang out with. If you're not showing up as yourself, you're not going to attract the other yous of this world. And you're not going to want to hang out with these people, right? So you want to find your people. And the only way to do that is going to be authentic, right? So we've kind of touched on this, but there's going to be 3 main types of posts or 3 types of engagement, essentially, that you want to make sure that you're sharing regularly. You want to either be able to inform somebody, to inspire them, or entertain them, right? Why do you go to other people? If there's a blogger that you're following, if there is somebody, an influencer that you're following, why? Why do you go to their page? Why do you watch every single one of their stories they post? Whatever it could be of a salad, whatever it is. Why do you go to them? That's what you want to create for your people. Because remember, at the end of the day, you're much more than just a coach. I'm going to go to this next one since that was kind of quick, but how you share is going to be so important. And the sharing of today is much different than the sharing was even a year ago, honestly. And Heather already touched on it, this left picture. We don't want to see that. That is directly from a Beachbody Instagram page. And that is the only place it belongs, is on a Beachbody page, because nobody wants to come to your page and see, yes, you can share results of your own challengers or from the FNF page if you don't have anybody yet to your stories. They don't want to come to your page and see somebody else's results. They'll see that you're helping other people. That's great. But at the end of the day, they want to see you, right? You're selling yourself, is like what Heather said. And this middle picture here, my sweaty selfies, if you are in my group, you see they are basically the same every single day. And this shows it. But how boring is that feed, right? Nobody wants to see, and how heavily filtered. Thankfully, things have changed. So we'll get into filters. As much as it pains me as a designer to not have a perfect feed anymore, that's not what it is. They want raw, they want authentic, but nobody wants to see my face that close every single day when they go to my page, right? I don't want to see my face that close up and personal. So no one else is going to see that. That's not interesting to look at. You want to have a mixture of things. So you'll see here on the far right, this is what my feed currently looks like. There's a lot of reels. I mean, everything on the outside is a reel. There is one static post here in the middle. I do sit a lot the same way, I know that, but they're still different, right? And Heather's feed looks even more different than mine. She has a lot that has text on hers, and there's nothing wrong with that. Mine is more so a design aesthetic thing because I really struggle with that. But everyone still has their own thing and own thing that works for them, and that is okay. You can go to some accounts and they are still very structured with how they look, but that works for them. That is not meant to be everybody, right? The more raw and authentic that you are to yourself, the better it's going to be in the long run, because we keep saying this, you're not selling Beachbody, you're selling yourself at the end of the day to attract those people, to build your own communities at the end of this.
Okay, batching content, I think, is really important, especially if you are really busy during the day, which I feel like we all are. And I know for me, I get very stressed out. Like right now it's 2:48. I haven't posted a reel. I don't have anything batched. I'm a little stressed because I need to post something and I want to make it about MilSpouse stuff because I haven't done that in a couple weeks. And I'm like, I wish I had something batched, right? So batching a lot of things on the weekend, and then you just have stuff to post. I will say, make sure you save your videos to your phone. If you save your reels to your drafts and you get knocked out of Instagram for whatever reason, all your drafts get deleted. I have found that out the very hard way, because then you don't have anything saved. So just save your stuff ahead of time, right? Okay, so how do you batch content? Make sure you go through, I would say TikTok is a really great place to find, like TikTok's a few days and weeks ahead of Reels. Because if you think what everybody's doing is they're basically taking their TikToks and then they're posting it on Reels. It's pretty rare to like find a Reel, right? And vice versa. So go to TikTok, save some sounds, utilize it. Sometimes you can find a sound on TikTok that you like, and then you can go find it on Reels if you want to record it in Reels. With your content, I said this already, relate all of your stuff back to your niche. So if you're like, I'm a busy mom, that's my niche. Every single reel in TikTok is about that, right? Some way, shape, or form is about that. Switch up your outfits and locations. If you are batching content, it just makes it look like different videos. If you change your shirt, change up your hair, throw a hat on, like you can just make it look, again, it's like more eye-catching to have different, right? Instead of, oh, I've seen 25 reels of her in a white tee and a green hat, like mix it up. Utilize best lighting. Don't be lazy. I can get lazy and be like, I'm just going to record this. And it doesn't look the best. I know for me, when I'm scrolling, if I don't see something that like really catches my eye right off the bat, I'm going to scroll right past it. And so something that's like bright and in good lighting, I'm like, oh, okay, what's this about, right? I give it an extra second. So whether you have a ring light or you just use natural light's really the best. Make sure that you are recording things during the day. So like set aside that time if you're doing it on the weekend. And then if you're going somewhere, look for opportunities or fun ways to do reels. Like Heather's really good at this. I always forget. And then I'm like scrambling and I'm like, we should do this cute thing. And she's like, yeah, I got like 10 sounds saved. But if you have a trip or, I don't know, maybe you're going to a kid's basketball game. I don't know, you're going somewhere. It would be cool to like have a reel idea or a post idea from where you are, right? So even if it's you out at a kid's game or something, like, hey, maybe you can have somebody snap your picture while you're there. So you can be like, oh, I'm here watching my kid and I'm working my business. I don't know. I'm just talking right now. But if you're going somewhere, try to have some ideas, because it's nice to not have to stress about it once you're there. Like I wish I had more sounds and ideas saved when we were in Colorado, because I think that's like really cool and fun for people to like be a part of it with that. But yeah, that's a really good point, Heather. No, you're so good at that. I always forget.
I will say though, like, because we're telling you, right, to find these ideas and do all these things while you're out, you don't have to post in real time. And I think that really overwhelmed me when I started, because I was like, there's no way I can post all day long. I have not a 9 to 5, I have an 8 to 5 job. Yes, I work from home a lot now, but I still have a very demanding job. I have a lot of deadlines. I'm on a lot of meetings throughout the day, and I don't have that flexibility to always post throughout my day, or should I probably be doing that because of my job, right? But the number of pictures and stuff that I have on my phone that I post later, that's okay. It doesn't have to be shared in real time. I encourage you not to share it in real time, because everyone around you will hate you. They will get so annoyed with you having to take a quick video or do this and then post it, because we all know it takes more than 2 seconds to post, right? So be mindful of that, and yeah, snap a quick picture and save it and then share it later. You still be present and still enjoy your life, right? And like, the one thing I want to add too is all of your stuff on Instagram and your reels should be very niche specific. TikTok, I think you can still translate your niche there, but it doesn't have to be as specific. You can share other things. So share more of that color wheel kind of that we were talking about. I know I share some more like outfit stuff over there and things like that that I don't share on Reels because that is not my niche. Those do terrible for me on Reels. And you'll see what does good on TikTok does not always do good on Reels and the other way around. So just keep that in mind that you can have a little bit more fun with TikTok, in my opinion, than you can. Instagram is picky, right? But make sure that you're just sharing your life and having fun. Get out of your comfort zone because I know like you will never come to my page and see me dancing on my stories like you do Heather, right? That is just not me. That is not my personality. As many times as she tries to get me to do that when we are in person and I just move out of the frame, but that's not me. But I can still get on there and do things like talking on my stories when I started. If you're a newer coach and you're struggling with talking on your stories, it took me 6 months to talk on my stories. I do not recommend that. Now I get annoyed because 4 slides is not enough for me to talk on there. And I'm like rushing and I just feel very pressured to fit it into those little 15-second clips. But get out of your comfort zone. And that if that's just you talking for max 4 stories a day, start there, right? It could just be you saying good morning. That is my thing. I get on, I say, good morning. This is what I got today. Have a good day. We all have our things. And that's what I think you can look at other coaches to just get ideas, but make it your own at the end of the day. See how you can share things in different ways every day. So yes, you should be sharing at least one product of what you have every day, but I mix up my pre-workout every single day on my stories, and then I share my shake to my stories. People want to know what you're drinking, and they're not gonna, then when you go to them with a total solution pack, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that drink that you drink every day. Okay, you have it, then yeah, I need to have it, right? But make sure you're sharing it in different ways. Making your shake every single day can get a little boring. So if you're bored watching your stories, people are gonna be bored watching them. So mix it up a little bit. Think how you can tie things back into coaching. So if you have not taken a quick boomerang of tonight's call, if you're going to do one on Emily's call, whatever it may be, if you have your phone propped in the corner, just watching you watch this, whatever it may be, tie things back to coaching. Thursdays, you should be sharing about coaching every single week. That is payday, that is rank advancement day. If you don't have a team of your own yet and you don't have people to celebrate, there's a lot of celebrations that happen in the FNF page every single week. Call those people out. Call a challenger of yours out if someone's doing really great, take a screen recording of the Fit Club that you're in, even if it's mine and Heather's. Recognize those things and tie things back to coaching. What has coaching done for you? Talk about those things openly. If this is your paycheck, right? You always do the income disclaimer here, and you can't necessarily say the exact dollar amounts, but what did it help you do? Did it get you to buy the large bag of dog food? Did it fill up your gas tank? Did you get groceries for the week? Talk about those things. Those are going to be what resonates with other people. Think about what your community needs to see, but more importantly, what did you need to see before starting, right? And I think as a newer coach, it's almost easier because you're still in that mindset. And I think it's harder as you go down the road because I'm a completely different person than I was 3.5 years ago. I know Heather is a completely different person. So it's sometimes harder to remind yourself of who you were and what you needed to see back then. But those are the people you're bringing in. Those are the people whose lives you're changing. And if you're not remembering who those are and what you needed to hear, like what got you to say yes, to officially enroll? What was the thing that Heather shared, that I shared, that you saw that got you to be like, okay, I need to do this, right? And then recreate that feeling for somebody else down the road.
I love what you just said. That last part was so good. And yeah, don't shut up about things. Like if you hit Emerald, don't shut up about it. Talk about what you did for your business. Like I think sometimes we're just like, oh, I did this little thing. It's like, no, that's a really big deal. And you hitting Emerald, people don't know that, oh my gosh, you hit Emerald. What is like that could mean that you are like a millionaire in the business, right? Like people don't know. I used to think that Diamond literally was like a millionaire. I was like, wow, she hit diamond. And I'm like, oh, it's just 12 people. But right, like people don't know unless they're in the business. So hype it up and yeah, talk about all the things. So growing a following, I think this is pretty much our last slide, and then we'll hop on Emily's call, but you guys can read these things. I don't have to read them all. I think the biggest thing on here is staying consistent, and I like not focusing on the numbers because I think we definitely get caught up. And I could look at my following that hasn't really grown the last few months. It's like just stayed pretty much stagnant, but I still show up every day like I'm trying to continue to grow, right? And so you can't let a lack of growth, or like Heather said, it took like a full year before she was really seeing traction with things. And you can't, like not once did that stop her. Like she still showed up every single day. And that's the biggest thing with not just growing a following, but growing a business, becoming whatever, influencing on social media, whatever it is staying consistent. Like that is the main thing that's going to get you through. And next year, when we get on this call, I would hope that every single person on here would get on, but probably not. There's probably going to be people that fall off and quit and don't want to go through the hard and continue to stay consistent. And all I can say is like, that's the only way you're going to build a business and see great success with this, is showing up every day, no matter what, even when it gets hard, even when you're not seeing the growth, even when you're not seeing the Success Club points that you want to see, like you got to still show up, because that's what's going to differentiate you from the people that quit and fall off and don't see success. I think that's it.
Yeah. And then the last thing is just the secret. There really is no secret. Spoiler alert. It's just focusing on the vitals and staying consistent. I don't know how many times we can say consistent on this call. We should have like a drinking game or something like that, but that's all it is at the end of the day, is staying consistent with this business and showing up. And that doesn't mean to show up like me. That doesn't mean to show up like Heather. If you can't put out 50 stories a day, that's okay. Do what is manageable for you, because the only way that you're going to fail in this business is that you're going to burn yourself out trying to be like everybody else, trying to keep up. And that's where the comparison game comes in. And that's what you can't do. You have to stay in your own lane and do what you can do consistently every single day. So maybe 10 TikToks a day is not realistic for you, which I do not blame you for, but that's okay. Yes, you would grow a lot faster, for example, if you did something like that, but most importantly, focus on what you can sustain long-term, because that's what's going to get you here and keep going a year later, rather than trying to do all of these things, balls to the wall and burn yourself out, because that's not going to help you for anything down the road. So figure out what you can do every single day consistently, and that's going to get you longer, or get you farther in the long run. But okay, I know we went a little over, so I'm going to end it there, but I don't know what was in the chat. I couldn't see that, so I don't know if there was a whole lot in there.
I think we're good. I just put the link to Emily's call if you guys want to copy that, or it's in FNF downline too.
Perfect. Well,
But
we'll see you over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, guys.